The Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi, and I'm going to look at interview people on what their views of him are and what they know about him. I'm mostly going to be interviewing my relatives. I'm interviewing them because most of them lived during his time, and my grandfather met him, and so I just want to know what they know about him, and so I can expand my knowledge. So, my perspective of him is what I've heard is that he was the nonviolence movement. He did all this good stuff, but my aunt told me that he was that she describes him as a disobedient man, and I agree because he was disobedient to the wrong laws that the British made. And so that is what my perspective of him is, that he was a good leader, but also he didn't just say, I'm just gonna sit here and watch everything fall around me. He said, like, if there's something that is happening that's wrong, even though he isn't the biggest friend of violence, he said violence would be do something. Basically, if you see if the whole world is collapsing around you, then you should do something. You shouldn't just sit there. Formulated some questions I want to ask the people I'm interviewing. The questions are, what is your perspective on Gandhi and his teachings? That's question number one. So I'm going to give my view of him. So my view, I think he's very, he was formulated a list of questions I want to ask my interviewees. The first question is, what is your perspective of Gandhi and his teachings? And so I'm going to answer this based on my knowledge. I feel he was a pretty disobedient and helpful man to the country of India. He was disobedient to the bad laws that the British created, and he was helpful to India by, he had the non-violence movement where he didn't just go on like the British and just start if someone did something. It wasn't a dictatorship. He didn't just do things to other people for a bad reason. Though he didn't also let it go. He would, if he saw the whole world collapsing around him, he didn't want you just to sit there, just watch everyone die. He wanted you to do something, even if it meant using a bit of violence. And he didn't really like violence at all. So my next question, how did you learn about it in school? So again, I'm going to answer this. So right now we're about to start a mini part of our unit on Gandhi and his nonviolence movement and what he did for India and how he helped get India independence. So my third question. My third question is, do you think the Gandhi's teachings are relevant in today's times? And so, yeah, I think they're relevant because we hear about these wars on the news. And that isn't necessarily, they need to know Gandhi's message better to not have those wars happen. Because there's nonviolence, he needs to do that. They need to not have the wars and use nonviolence. Even arguing would be fine. They can still have conflict, but not take it to such an extreme level. Except they are doing one of his other teachings, which is not just sit there. They are doing that, but they're doing too much of that. They're overexerting themselves to the other person, to the other country or other subject.